Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Floss Tube. It's the Sarahs. This is Stitching with the Sarahs, episode number 8. Welcome back. We have so many fun wintry Christmas things to show you today. We've got some things we finished and some whips and new starts, and we're excited to be back for another episode of Stitching with the Sarahs. So, if you're new here, Sarah and I are friends, and you can see we're in different locations. We don't even live in the same state, but we each have our own floss tube channels. And then about once a month, we get together and film a video together showing what we have in common that we've been working on. So here we are today for episode number 8. It's the end of the year. We've had Christmas. We hope you guys have had a good holiday season. And yeah, if you want to make sure to follow us, my channel is Handmade by Sarah W. And I'm also under the same name on Instagram. And Sarah is Sarah Stitchery here on YouTube. And she is Stitchy Sarah Reads on Instagram. And we'll put all that information below. And we hope you follow us and connect with us in all the places. So let's just get into the stitching and talk about what we have been up to because we have a lot of fun things to show.
Oh, don't forget our shirts.
Oh my gosh. And I just said I was going to talk about our shirts. We are matching today. Look at this. Aren't these adorable? Sarah got these for us and I love it. I have been wanting a cross stitch shirt for so long and now I have one and I love it. And we're twinsies. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
All right. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with finishes. So,
Okay.
the first thing we're going to show today is a pattern by With Thy Needle and Thread. It's called Santa Stops Here, and we both have a finish. Are you ready to show yours?
Just about. Okay. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All
Let's
right,
do
let's do it.
it.
Here we are. Ooh. It looks so cute. So
I
mine is stitched. I know, I love it too. Let me come over this way. There we go. So mine is stitched on, I feel like I can't fit this and me in. Mine is stitched on a 40 count rustic drab by X2 Design. And I stitched it with all the called for floss, with the exception of I switched out the red. My red just wasn't red enough for me. And I've switched it to Roxy Flossco in the color Lollipop. But other than that, everything is the same. So what about
Yes.
yours?
Um, I just realized my little bow is a little crooked there. Okay,
Yeah.
so I stitched mine on Picture This Plus, and the color is Velt. And I did mine on an 18 count. Sorry, I had to reference my notes. I couldn't remember if it was 16 or 18. And I did not use any called for colors. I did a total DMC conversion on this. So the whole thing is in DMC, and I love it. And I love my fabric. It's got a lot of green modeling, and I thought that would look good against the red. And
It does.
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
And if you can see on the little wreath here, there are actually little beads and this little ribbon. So that's such a cute touch. I love it.
And that was a total team effort too, because you shared beads with me. You had beads that you were using, and I shared the little bow that I got off of like a little Christmas wreath decoration. So
Yes, it worked perfectly.
yes, it did.
Thank you.
Another thing I really love about this is I don't know if you can see, but the satin stitches in the panes of the door there look really cool. So
Hmm.
there's some dimension in this piece with the beads and the bow and the satin stitch that just makes it really fun. One thing we did change, or we really I guess left out, was this little cardinal up. This cardinal up here on the deer, he was holding a candy cane in his mouth, and that candy cane was over one, and we were both like, no.
Man,
So no candy cane for that bird. I think it looks great without it. So
I do too. I love it.
love that finish.
So happy with that. This
I
was so
know.
fun too to stitch it. I really couldn't stop. I mean, I was like obsessed with it. I
Yeah,
love
so
to
that
have
was
a
a new
stitch like
start for
that.
you this year.
Mhm.
It was a whip for me. I had started it back in 22, and then I don't think I touched it at all last year. But then when you and a couple of our other friends were starting it, I was like, okay, pulling that out.
Yep. Love it.
Yes.
All right. So the next one, which this was a similar situation, it was a whip for you.
Mm,
It was a new start for me this year, and we finished up together on the same day.
yes.
And this is Away We Ride by Blackbird. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love this one too.
Me too.
It's
Me
so
too.
good.
That dark border. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh. The colors are everything. I love that funky house.
I know, it's so good.
All the variegation in the threads. I did use called for on this. I had a little bit um, of an issue because I was running out of a floss and I couldn't find it. I finally found some, so I was able to finish it. But I did mine on 18 count Seraphim and Old Stationery and all the called for floss, one strand.
And I did mine on 40 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. This was actually a restart for me. I had originally started it on 32 count Murky, wasn't loving it, so I'm really pleased with my restart. I used all the called for except for where it calls for Garden Gate, which is like in the border and in the bird's wings and stuff.
Mhm.
I just didn't have Garden Gate. And so I subbed Weeks Dye Works Bark in the place of Garden Gate, and I think it worked pretty good.
Mhm.
And the only other change I made was in my house. You can see there's two different color browns. You can see it in Sarah's as well. But the two browns, I guess the dye lots of my browns were like very similar. So I was stitching them both and they looked exactly the same. So instead I just used the brown that was like in this tree over here in place of the one. Um, so but otherwise, it's all called for, and I think ours look so good.
They do. They look, you can tell there's like a difference to them, but they're both like very good. I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love it.
And I
This was a
wanted to mention
fun.
too, if you're new here, if this is your first time watching us together, one thing you'll notice about Sarah and I is even though we stitch a lot of the same things, we use different fabrics. So Sarah is an Aida stitcher, and I'm a linen stitcher, and it's just really fun to see our pieces side by side. Sometimes we'll use the same color fabric, even though we're stitching on two different types of fabric, or we'll have completely different, and just it's really fun to see them side by side and see the different interpretations, and even how different a fabric can look, even if we're using the same color between Ada and linen, just because they dye differently. So
They do.
all stitchers are welcome here. All stitchers are welcome anyways, but like, there's something for everyone here with us. So
Mhm.
that's one thing I love about us.
Yeah, me too. And then another thing is like if you see something that inspires you that we're working on and you want to join us, we think the more the merrier. Like jump in with us, stitch anything with us, tag us on Instagram. And we
Yes.
also use a hashtag stitching with the Sarahs. I think that's just the cutest thing. And I love when people tag us and say that we've inspired them to stitch something with them. It's so fun. So,
I love that too.
yeah. Yeah, so that kind of introduces the next project because that yeah.
Yeah, so like Sarah said, you're welcome to stitch anything with us, but this next one was actually a stitch along that we hosted together, for hands-on design, the most recent folk design, which is called Winter Folk. Are you ready to show it?
Yes.
Okay, let's show it. Oh, it looks so good. I'm gonna put it over here so they're side by side.
Yes. And like to be honest, I haven't even put my magnets on yet, so I'm just pretending. But
And
they're
nobody would have known.
upstairs. No. Well, it was like this. I was like, "Oh, hold
Oh,
on." Yeah.
oh, So we hosted this stitch along. We started back, I believe we started on November 17th. And so it took us just a little over a month to stitch this. We were just kind of taking our time with it and enjoying stitching band by band. It was interesting because Sarah started in the middle. And what'd you do? You worked your way up and then went back
Mhm,
down.
mhm.
And I started at the top and worked my way all the way down. So it's kind of fun to just kind of like meet up and stitch out the rest of it together. But let me tell you about mine first. I'm stitching mine on the called for fabric, which is a 32 count driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I used all the called for DMC and the pearl cotton that is used for the specialty stitches. What about yours?
Yep. So mine is on a 16 count. Picture this plus in the color earthen, and I used all the called for DMC and the pearl cotton also for the specialty stitches. So the only thing different with ours is the color of our fabric, but our floss is the same. We even use the same finishing materials, which was another group finish effort because I found us the rickrack and Sarah found us the fabric. So, and it was the same fabric and rickrack that was on the cover photo of the chart. So really pretty. Love it.
Yes, I love it too. And like Sarah mentioned, we use magnets. Well, she hasn't put hers on yet, but but we use magnets so that we can use this piece because this is, like I mentioned, this is a seasonal piece, and so there were all 4 seasons in this folk series, which we've already stitched. We stitched spring, summer, fall, and then we finished out the series with winter. So I love the versatility of this piece. This board came from Chantel's 141 Design Company. It's called the Folk Paddle, and it was designed specifically for this pattern. And and it comes unfinished, so you can stain it or paint it however you like. And it's just beautiful. I love it. So, Sarah, I had just watched your your latest floss tube today, and I love that you mentioned that even though we're finished stitching this, if you're still stitching, or if you haven't even started yet and you wanna stitch it and join the stitch along, you can join in anytime. Just because we're done doesn't mean the stitch along is done and we don't want to see anybody's progress. Please,
Exactly.
yes, please post your progress pictures, post your starts, post your finishes, tag us, tag Kathy at Hands On Design, tag Chantel if you're using her folk paddle. We love to see all of the pictures and cheer you on and celebrate your finishes with you. And also make sure you use the hashtag HOD Winter Folk Sal. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Amazing. I love it. Love, love it. Oh, okay. So the next one is a fun one. And all right, I'm going to show you the chart, but it is a PDF. So I'm going to show it to you on my iPad here.
And so we're
And
done with finishes. We're getting into our new
yes,
starts now.
yes. So this was a new start. So this is by Starlight Stitching Co. And we actually both just had giveaways on our channels because the designer, Amanda, generously gave us some charts to give away and also gifted us with a chart. So, of course, we had to start it. And so there is, sorry for the glare. That is what the Biscornu looks like. It's called Whimsy Christmas Biscornu. So I'm ready to show if you are.
I am,
Okay.
yes.
So, if you're not familiar with a biscornu, what you do is you stitch two designs that are the same size of they're both squares. So you can see my outline. I've got both of them going, and I'm just color completing. So I've completed, I think, 3 colors in this, and yeah, so that's my little start. I'm doing it on an 18 count fiber on a whim silver fox, and I'm using all of the called for DMC colors. I love that it's done in DMC. Very easy to kit up. What about
Yes.
you?
So I'm stitching mine on a 40 count spice blend splash. Um, I've had this fabric in my stash forever. And on my card, I wrote that the dyer was S&S. I have no idea.
Hmm.
I have no idea I
I don't
maybe I
know.
wrote that down wrong. I have no idea, but it's called Spice Blend Splash. I've never
Yeah.
seen it ever again, so I have no idea. But I thought it was cute for
Looks
this.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some blue modeling in it. It's got a
Yeah.
little bit of pink in there too, so I thought it'd
Yeah.
be cute for this.
Yeah.
And
It's
I've just got the
perfect.
teeniest, tiniest little start, but
Yeah.
you got to start somewhere, right?
Yes, you do. And that's good that you got your outline done because, that's not your favorite part.
It's not.
So I'm proud of you.
Thank
Yay. I love it.
you.
Love,
And
love it.
after we did a Biscornu together in the fall, I was like, okay, I got to do another Biscornu.
Yes,
So
they're so fun to put together.
they
I love
are.
it. Yay. Okay, next, let's see. Ooh,
Oh, oh,
yay.
yes.
I love
Next,
this
we have
one.
another new start. Let me put this aside
Mhm.
here real quick. We have another new start. Let me show the pattern. This is Christmas at Hollyberry Farm Sampler by Stacy Nash. It is beautiful. Lots of people are stitching this. And Sarah and I had kitted it up recently and we were dying to start it. I started mine on Christmas Day. And I cannot wait to get back to this. Let me put it on my board here. I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So
Oh, how
pretty.
fun. I love how different ours look. I did change some of my colors though. Let me tell you the details of mine. I'm stitching mine on a 40 count coffee stain by Cedar River Linen. And I really wanted to kind of punch up some of my colors. So I changed a few of the Gentle Arts to different colors. I won't go through all my changes, but like I changed the red, I changed the green, I changed a couple of the others because I really wanted, especially with this fabric being so dark, I didn't want those more muted colors to kind of get lost on it. So I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Like, I love your
Yeah.
green and your
Thank you.
red. It looks really good. And you can see the other colors good because you don't want them to get lost, but
Right.
it looks so good. I love
Yours
it.
looks so good too. You're going to town
Thank
on that border.
you. Yeah, I just was in a groove with it, but I'm excited to see the red in there too. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that'll be good. Mine is on an 18 count Atomic Ranch in the color Prairie Land, and I'm using the called for.
It's pretty. I love
I
it.
love it. I know, me too. It makes me so happy. I just love stitching things that make me like when you just are so excited to get back to it or like pull it out. It's just the best
Yes.
feeling.
And I'm just in love lately with Stacy Nash patterns. And this one has been calling to me. I've had it in my stash for quite a while, and I'm really glad to have finally gotten a start on it.
Yeah. Okay. Me too. Me too. This next one. Okay, my needle is being a little weird here. Okay. This next one, oh, let's see what I'm doing. Okay. Is by, let's see, do you have the chart handy on this one? It
No, you
is,
have the chart for this one, I
oh,
believe.
do I have it? Okay, let me, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, here it is. And this is called Christmas Cottage by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And so we got this because I don't know if you remember seeing, and I have mine here, but we did this one together. And this was called Holiday Inn. And so it's very similar. You have that house outline. This one had the witches, but now we have Santa Claus. So we both got a little start on this. I don't know. We started it a couple days ago, I guess. Um, and I started with the outline on mine. Sorry, Sarah. My needle was like going rogue. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So here's our little start. We started in completely different places on this. And so mine is on an 18 count Forbidden Fiber Co. The color is called Lunar. I've never used this color before. And it was
It's
just in my
pretty.
stash. Thank you. And using let's see, what's it charted in? Sorry, I dropped my chart. What do we have? Like, is it all fancy floss? I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, weeks
Yeah.
and gentle arts. So
I
I haven't pulled all the floss. Like I'm just kind of go. So right now I've used DMC. So I'll just see as I go. Like, do I have the color or do I want to substitute it or whatever? So that's all I've done
yeah.
so far.
So
What about you?
I did start in the middle. I'm not usually a center starter. But because this fabric I'm gonna have kind of small margins, I decided to start in the center just to make sure it was perfectly centered. This is actually a piece of fabric that Sarah sent me for my birthday. This because I she uses shale a lot. So this is 36 count shale by Picture This Plus. And I'm not positive that this is going to be right for this pattern just because I feel like these colors are getting a little bit lost, but these are the more muted colors in the palette. And I'm thinking maybe if I get some of the more, brighter colors on there, it might not be an issue, but we'll see. Um,
Yeah, I mean, the white is definitely going to show really good. And you know what else will
yes,
show good is that the bricks in the fireplace.
that's what I'm thinking. So this
Yeah.
is the mantle of the fireplace. There's some candlesticks on there, some little trees. Um, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I really like this fabric though, and I really would like to use this for
Hmm.
this pattern, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be good. I love it. I just love these. And I love the Halloween one too. They're so cute.
Yes, they are. All right,
Okay.
so that's it for our new starts. The next couple are whips. Well, the next one is a whip for me, but Sarah already has it finished and fully finished. I cannot wait for you to see her fully finished. Hold on, let me put this on my board really quick and I'll show you the pattern. So this was from the Jingle Ball. This was one of the classes. This was the Stacy Nash class. It is called Gingerbread House Sewing Book. There's the pattern. There you go. So there's a front, there's a back to it, and it's another house. I'm just noticing that we just showed Christmas Cottage. Now we've got the gingerbread house. I love a house.
Yeah.
And so why don't I show mine first because
Okay.
I have less done. And
Okay.
then you can show yours because yours really needs a spotlight. Okay.
I'll go
It's
for
so
it,
good.
girl. Oh, thank
Uh,
you.
So here is my whip. I'm still working on the front of the house. I am using all the called for colors, which is all, it looks like Weeks Dye Works to me. And I'm using 40 Count Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. So that's what I've got so far.
It's really
What
pretty.
about you?
Okay, so I will say that I didn't finish mine as a sewing book. And in fact, the second I saw this pattern, like I even like told Sarah, I was like, okay, look, we got to do this pattern, but I am not finishing it as a sewing book. This is my plan. And she was like, I love it. And it was just
And
like
I'm
when
going to
you,
copy it.
yes, and when you just have that vision in your mind and then you do it, comes to life. It just feels so good. And I feel so happy that I was able to get this fully finished. So here is mine. Like I said, I didn't finish it as a sewing book, but I did finish it as an ornament and it's double sided. So here's the front and here's the back.
It is so good.
Thank you. I'm very pleased. I stitched mine on a 20 count fiber on a whim in the color Hazelwood. That's that same color that earlier today you were like, "What is that color? That's good." You know that I was stitching that other thing? And this is that same color.
I
But
need that
anyway,
color.
yeah, I love it. So I actually used DMC on everything except for the yellow, like that gold color. I used a silk floss because I wanted some movement in that and I really wanted it to just look so warm. Because, I'm imagining this is like winter snow outside and then like the warmth of the home, like the glow. So, anyway, it turned out exactly how I would want it to, and I love it. I did use my cord maker and I used the pink, the more pink color, which is like right here, and also in the door, and the white color to make my cord, and just put it
Perfect.
on. Thank you. I love
I love it.
it.
So beautiful. Now I can't
Thank
wait to get
you.
mine finished because I'm going to finish mine exactly the same way.
It's going to be perfect.
Perfect.
All
All right,
right,
we've got
so
one more. Oh,
one
sorry,
more
this is
whip.
you.
Yep, one more whip. That's okay. And so you do you have the okay.
I do.
Yeah, this is Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. You can actually, because both of us just got the PDF, I think,
Hmm.
on this. So I think you can buy like the chart, but you can also just get the PDF if you're interested in this. It is such a pretty chart. I mean, stunning. And really, you because I've seen another, let's see, what was it, like a tealy kind of color? I've seen like brown, like you can, it's just a beautiful monochromatic. Like I've seen green. It might even be pretty with like a gold color,
Yeah.
so you picking like any kind of combination of fabric and a beautiful floss, just one color works for this. So let's show ours. Are you ready?
I'm
Okay.
ready. Yes.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
So we're
Oh.
both doing red, and mine is on 20 count vintage country mocha. The reason I picked this color is because I had done another project on this fabric color, and it had a lot of reds and pinks, and I really liked it. Like I thought it looked really nice. And so the whole reason I even started stitching this is because of my friend Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. She was doing a monochromatic red piece, and she had gotten some extra floss. Like I think she over um bought for it. And so I had never used color and cotton, and she shared this with me. And the color I'm using is called Dracula. It's so pretty. And so I had the floss first. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pick the most perfect monochromatic, and I mean, I spent hours trying to decide what to work on. And I kept coming back to this, kept coming back to this. So I got the chart, and then I kept looking at it, and I could see the piece I'm talking about. It's on my wall, but it's beautiful on this color, and I thought I'm gonna put that on there. So I'm pleased with how it looks. I really like it, but I also really like the contrast of yours too. It looks so pretty.
Isn't it interesting how just your floss and fabric choice can make it look like a totally different piece?
Yeah,
So I remember you showing me this pattern. I'm like, I'm gonna stitch this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stitch it too.
yeah.
So I'm stitching mine on a 46 count cream and sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using this Roxy floss in the color Cabernet. And I just love it so
Mhm.
much.
Me too.
I was working on this a little bit the other day. I really can't wait to get to that tree and the deer, but I'm trying to force myself to do the things that I don't want to do first. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish out that alphabet and border on the top. And
hmm,
then because that bottom border is very heavy, like there's a lot going on, I may kind of start on it and then kind of go back and forth. I'm not really sure, but you know how I am. Like once I
yeah.
start on like the border or like the hard thing, I tend to just go
Then you
for
go to
it.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
love the variegation in your floss color. That's the only thing I regret. I wish I'd chosen something with some variegation. Because you can see there isn't any, but I'm not mad about the color. I think the color is beautiful, but I love
yeah.
seeing the variegation on yours. It's really pretty.
Yeah. And it's interesting how it almost in this top line, I mean, doesn't it kind of look like a pattern, like light, dark?
Hmm.
But I'm not trying to do anything. Like I'm just, the floss is just doing that. Excuse me. Yeah, and so I've been kind of like I'll like do one strand on the top and then I'll do like a strand on the alphabet. I'll just keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
So,
that looks
yeah.
good.
Thank you. Yours does too. I really love it.
Thank you.
So that's
All
really
right.
all we have to show today, I guess.
Yeah, all we have to show today, like it wasn't amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so that's it for us for today. We do try to film once a month, so hopefully you'll see us again at the end of January in the new year, right? Speaking of the new year, you and I will both have whip parades coming out very soon. So keep your eyes open for those on our respective FlossTube channels. This video, I mean, I'm assuming you found it on one of our channels because we post it to both channels. But please make sure that if you're not subscribed to our channels yet, we would love for you to subscribe to both of our channels. And we would love for you to leave a comment and let us know what you're working on. If you're stitching anything we're stitching, we'd love to hear that as well. And we just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2025.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
guys.